specific title? Because every time I think of all that, I think about the
The show.
Nickelodeon
Yeah.
TV show from back in the day.
For sure.
So
Everybody say that. Well, at first,
yeah,
they coming back too, by the way. They
What?
having a new show.
What?
Yeah. So hopefully I don't have no copyright,
Oh,
shenanigans.
yeah, you better.
But yeah. So I had this show called The Kyrie Show. It was like a skit show, like Chappelle Show.
Okay.
So, but with that, right, is a lot of time, a lot of,
Yes.
writing scripts
Yes.
and, getting people to act. And it's a lot of, so I was like, in the meantime, what can I do that I can put content out like, easy, like
Right.
back to back to back. And I was like, well, I'm pretty good at talking, I think. So I'm gonna start a podcast. So at first it was me just talking by
Mhm.
myself. And I realized that that's pretty hard.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
no matter how good you think you talk, it's hard
Yeah.
to hold a conversation with
With
yourself
yourself.
for like 30 minutes. That's pretty
Yeah.
hard. So I was like, I'm gonna start interviewing people. So when I started doing that, then the show kind of just took off.
Right.
And it was like,
Right.
wow.
Because everybody wants to be heard at the end of the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
And that's really true about your talking to yourself.
It's hard, man.
I've been
It's
doing
difficult.
that for, I don't know, 100 episodes.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Man. I
having
did it for
deep
2 and I was like,
conversation.
nah, I gotta bring somebody on.
I love myself.
Yeah. Yeah, I did it for 2 and I was like, nah.
So who was your first guest that you had on your show?
My first guest was a friend of mine.
Mhm.
And we was talking about relationships and
Okay.
stuff. And so most of my guests have been like
That's
family,
Family
but
friend.
Yeah.
they have such great stories. And I'm like,
Mm.
yeah, this needs to be heard. Like,
Right.
my cousin literally had a miracle baby, and literally, like, he was not supposed to live at all. Like the baby.
Wow.
Oh, the
Yeah.
baby. I
Yeah,
thought you
yeah.
meant like a miracle baby.
Oh no, like
the
immaculate conception.
process
Oh
of
no,
the
no.
baby. is like-
No.
She
The
was a
baby was
virgin.
Yeah.
the baby was not supposed to say, he was gonna be born without limbs and all that.
Oh,
It was
wow.
born,
Wow.
healthy now, and it was crazy. So she was on. So many people, like different instances, was like great
Yeah.
stories.
Mhm.
And so that was that. But the probably the most famous person I interviewed was Torre.
I
you
did
know
hear
Torre.
that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So for those of you who don't know Torre, you'll know him as soon as I say this. When R. Kelly was like, when we say teenage, how old are we talking? That was Torre.
Right.
That was
Right.
Torre that interviewed
Right.
him. So that's Torre.
His facial expression when he did that interview with R. Kelly
Yeah.
was priceless.
He was like-
priceless.
What do you mean?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
If you haven't watched that, you got to go look on YouTube and find this interview
For
with
sure.
Torre and R. Kelly.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
That's something else.
We have kind of like a journalistic attitude, kind of, so
Yeah.
to speak. So we kind of have to know different
Yeah,
things.
have to.
And I know for you, you started a book club
Mm-hmm.
recently.
Yes. Yeah.
So what inspired that, and what are some of the books that you really suggest for us to read?
Well, reading is my favorite thing to do.
Because reading is fundamental.
Yes, that's like if I had
Do
a
you do you e-read, like, or do you like have the actual
no,
book
I
in
have to
hand?
have the book in my hand. I like to
Okay.
smell the pages. I'm a real nerd when it comes to that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Like she can read books on her phone and like on a
Yeah,
tablet,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm like, nah, I need to have the book in my hand.
Mhm.
So the book reading is literally that's
Mm.
my thing.
It's your bread and butter.
Yeah. And so then I was thinking more on a community level, because I just did this donation, this book drive to
Mhm.
this organization called Books Between Kids in Houston, and they donate books to underprivileged kids.
Yeah.
And I went on their website, and it was like in Houston ISD, it's like 85% of elementary kids live in like poverty at the poverty line or below the poverty
That's
line.
crazy.
And I'm like
I believe it.
85%.
Wild,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, so we was able in a week. I donated 3,000 books to them.
Wow.
People
Community,
are donating.
right.
Donated 3,000 books. So I'm like, if I can, I'm always about our, people,
Right.
So I'm like, if I can get books in the hands of, Black kids in general, but specifically, Black kids at a young age, then that's good. I
Right.
mean, because if I can plant that seed at an early age,
Right.
then because education is freedom, and I'm not speaking about a
Ooh, I
school
like
system.
that.
I mean like educating yourself,
Right.
and that comes to me
From reading.
one way for
Yeah.
sure is through reading.
Yeah.
And the first book, which is my favorite book ever, probably is The Alchemist. That was the first selection for the book club. That's That's my favorite book, The Alchemist. So, and I don't really read fictional books, but I think I'm gonna need to just because I'm starting a book club and I'm like, I need to,
You gotta have
space
a
it out. But
certain
usually I'm
level,
reading
yeah.
nonfiction. I'm reading like, serious stuff. Like,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna have to switch up my reading game, I guess,
So,
to fit everybody.
Hey,
That's
I love the fact that you're even giving back.
Yeah, I have to. I
So-
wanted that to be like the part of the brand from the get go. Like
Mhm.
we about more than just, I try to make everything I do kind of like what he does too. Because I research you.
Oh, that's what's up.
But I was like, from the get go, I want people to know like everything I do
Mhm.
is like for other people.
Other
Like the
people,
conversations I have, I'm trying to get you to have some kind of, awakening or be
Right.
inspired some
Yeah.
way. You know what I mean?
Do you
Right.
feel like when you're on that path and you're helping out people, sometimes people think you're fake. Like that's what it's
Mhm.
you're so genuine in what you're doing
Yeah.
to the point that people think that you're
Like
fake.
something got to be wrong.
Something
It's kind
Like
of
wrong
it's not
with
something
you.
that
Yeah,
is
like-
true to your heart to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah,
it's kind of
so-
like a bitter woman, right? So you can love a woman.
Mhm.
I don't want to
No,
say
you
bitter
can go
woman.
and go.
A bitter
No, no.
person, period. If a
Bitter
person,
woman,
yeah.
bitter woman.
If
yeah.
a man comes into their lives,
And he-
genuinely
he-
like treating them good, they like, oh no,
Yeah.
this
What
is
does
too
he
good to be
want?
true. Then they
Yes.
gonna end it. And
Yes.
that's the same thing with people.
That's-
People who've been through whatever.
Yeah.
If you're trying to come to them genuinely with something, they're
It's-
gonna be like, oh no.
Yo,
So he
it's
gotta have some ulterior motive.
And that's something that I've been through that
Mhm.
tons of times.
Yeah.
People who, just think, I just, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
it just doesn't feel. And it's like, that's weird because I've
Right.
always been who I've been
Mhm.
with you. And like, so why would you ever think that way? I
Right.
can't be who somebody else was. So
Right.
they, they did you dirty. They did you wrong.
Right. Just take me
And,
at what
just
I'm
take
doing.
me at
Right.
face value.
Yeah.
The person that I'm presenting to you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's a struggle with,
Yeah. It
really
dealing
is.
with people when you're so genuine and pure. They
Mhm.
don't know how to, it's either they really don't know how to.
Right.
It
to
is
deal with someone
difficult.
like
Yeah.
It is difficult.
They don't know how to receive that positive message
They don't.
sometimes.
No.
They don't.
And it's terrible because everybody thinks that, you're posting this because you want attention. Or
And then
you
they
want
never
this, you
people
know
are
what
never
I'm saying?
satisfied. And I look at now you can have my bad. You can have any opinion you want to on the Rock Nation NFL deal.
Yes.
But I'm just like Jay can literally like bail protesters out. He can, walk with Trayvon Martin, do a documentary, blah, blah, blah. He can do a person. I'm not even gonna say Jay. I don't want to tie it to it. A person can do 90, 100 things right.
Have
One thing
It's over.
done. Like forget all
Done
he
deal.
done
Yeah.
before.
Right.
Like we think that he's a sellout. Cause
Yeah.
Yo, bro,
Yeah.
I literally was having this conversation.
So was I.
with someone
Yeah.
about like, yo,
Yeah.
I've done, this dot
Mhm.
in the right direction.
Yeah.
One little, and it's like, and that can happen. You know
Yeah.
what I
For
mean?
sure.
And it's weird how that energy, how
Yeah.
that energy can like.
it's kind of like they
you're
wait.
not a good person because you did
Yeah.
one thing.
One thing.
Wrong. Right.
One, you did 100 right though.
Yeah.
One thing. That's why at the end of the day, you just got to stay true to yourself
That's
and
a
just
fact.
Facts.
trust the.
The
Facts.
process.
The process,
yeah,
like
no,
they
trust the
say,
process.
But
That's what
I
you
mean,
gotta do.
speaking of all that, especially with you
Yeah.
have so many different things going on,
Mhm.
and you're giving so many positive, either like was it back to school?
I did a.
I think you have another event coming up, and then
yeah.
the Balling for Peace.
So I did the Bowling for Peace. This is my 5th year doing Bowling for Peace. So I did the basketball game, flag football, basketball, bowling, and then flag football. That's usually how the
I
order
wasn't
was.
invited to the bowling one.
Well, bowling was
No.
I didn't know if that was in November of last year. That was for the 4th annual.
Yeah.
We're having one again that's gonna be coming up pretty soon in November,
Yes.
December. I
So
gotta
we're
put that-
invited.
Of
Okay,
course, of
I won't
course.
be there.
Well, we're gonna be aligned with one another.
Yeah.
now,
Yeah,
so
for sure.
that's gonna be things that are gonna be happening.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But so I do these three major events that I do per year, and then I do some partnerships and stuff like that. But this past event that I did was my back to school supply drive,
Mhm.
but I actually teamed up with the NYPD on it. So I got
I
them
see that.
involved. I
Let me write this down because
I got a question
some
about
questions
that.
about
Yeah.
that.
No,
Now
no,
we.
no.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
sorry. You want to go?
No, you go first, 'cause it might be-
no,
Okay.
let me say this first.
Alright.
So like when I started Bowling for Peace, it was for the senseless acts of violence that was going on with
Yeah.
the Mike Brown, Eric Gardner
Yes.
situation, and just all around the country and all over New York, and just a lot of craziness that was happening. I'm like, yo, people having peace marches and rallies and all this other stuff, and I'm like, that's cool, but like, what are we doing to kind of try to bridge the gap and bring it
Yes.
together?
Actionable
Like, yeah,
items.
like yeah. So we're like,
Yes.
okay,
Yeah.
you know, banging outside. Like, what is that really doing? When
Right.
has that really had an impact?
Worked.
When
No.
has it worked?
It was one part of the process. Then it was something else.
Yeah.
Right.
So like,
Yeah.
so my thing was always to like, how can we sit down and we talk?
It's like, okay, we know there's a problem.
Yeah,
How
there's
do
an
we find
issue.
a solution for
Right.
the problem?
So my thing was, my message is peace through sports,
Mhm.
and I started Bowling for Peace, and to the point where it got the attention from NYPD and got the attention from the celebrities and things
Mhm.
of that nature to like, okay, I got to be here because this is going on.
right.
Like when you initially start something, you don't really know the effect that it's going to have on people
Mhm.
until you actually do it.
right.
I think a lot of people, what happens with people is that they have a great idea,
Mm.
and they, before they even allow it to come out, they don't go through with the process because they fear in themselves. It's doubt in themselves. Can I really do this?
Right.
And
Can
it's
I
like,
add something right there?
yeah,
I interviewed this guy. He's a life coach, and he said that we don't create anything because everything is already is. He said what we do create though is blocks to whatever it is we're trying to get to.
Mm.
And that's a goes
yeah.
to
So
what you
yeah,
said.
you
Yeah,
kind of like
people
you
mess up
block
their own
yourself.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you take away from yourself all
Right.
the time. And I'm a doer.
Mhm.
Like, you know what I mean? There's people who talk about it, and then there's doers. I'm a doer.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I'll make sure when I'm doing an event, I get the venue, I get the date, and I'm locked in.
Mhm.
I don't know who's gonna be coming. I didn't
Right.
invite no one yet.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, but I have this date,
Mhm.
I have this time, and I have this location.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And then I go full throttle.
Boom.
Hey, you can come out to Bowling for Me. Hey, you know what I mean? You do media too. All right, cool. Let's
Right.
do
Yeah.
it. And that's how I do it. You know what I'm saying? And to a point where now it's like people, they hit me up when they see that's locked in. I don't worry. People be like, usually when I'm doing interviews leading up to Bowling for, well, who's playing? Sometimes I have no clue who's playing in this game.
Yeah.
I swear to you, I have no clue. But then
Right.
I know I'm getting phone calls left and right.
Right.
And now I
Yeah.
have to strategically pick out who's gonna be playing in the
this
game
Yeah.
or
particular
for
thing.
this
Yeah.
game or that game. But
Well, you have
um,
an event tomorrow.
I do. I have an event tomorrow. I actually, Lieutenant Mike with the NYPD. We have a 5-borough tour. I'm gonna be leading the Queens tour where we're doing a book bag giveaway. Like, you know, so this is the second back to school supply drive that I'm doing. You know, well, school started, but you know, it's back to school still.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
see, the thing is, because some of us have children,
Mhm.
and sometimes people can't afford those items.
sure. And they give out
And
some
no
nice book
matter
bags.
when you do it,
Yeah.
Mhm.
as long as you do it,
Mhm.
parents really appreciate it.
That's a fact. And it's free.
So, yes.
I'm gonna be giving out 200 book bags at my location in
Nice.
Queens.
Wow.
Amadeus, the super producer, he a producer who produced Chris Brown's like whole album and
Mhm.
stuff. He's gonna be doing the Bronx campaign. I'll be in Queens at the women's shelter off of Rockaway. So that's just dope. Like to now, like, you know, my thought process when linking NYPD to come on board and Lieutenant Mike to come on board was to sit down and have that conversation and open up them doors and kind of bridge that gap between community and police and law enforcement. You know what I mean? Some people just think like cops aren't normal people too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because
When they take off those uniforms.
yeah, they're normal people, but
Right.
we don't. If you even think about it, you'll walk up to a cop, you walk by him, you won't say anything,
Mhm.
like, you know what I mean? But you'll just have a thought about that cop already, like he's like,
Yeah.
Because
from
you
that,
see the
you know,
uniform.
you see the uniform, you're just like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
That's
you
like
say
judging someone by the
Pre-
color of their skin.
that's a fact.
You're just looking at.
That's a fact.
Mhm.
But
You
if you
know?
say, hey, how you doing, officer? Hey, you're gonna say something back
Exactly.
Yeah.
every time. Like I've never had an officer where I was like, hey, how you doing? And he just looked at me. And
Right.
just, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like F you.
But
never.
but we have
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
that notion in our head that all cops are bad. And
Right.
you know, I'm just trying to bridge that gap. You know what I'm saying? And now working with NYP, it's gonna be a lot easier for me to even get permits.
Yeah,
and
I
all
was
that
gonna
for my
say,
events
was
too.
it hard in the beginning getting this done?
It's very hard.
Yeah.
Especially doing my event at Brooklyn Bridge Pier Park.
Hmm.
No one does stuff there. Like, you know what I mean? It's probably one of the hardest places to get.
Right.
I did it there last year, and I started the process in October to get my event in August. I started in October,
Wow.
Dang.
and usually I didn't get the approval to like the first
day
week of
before?
October. Like, I mean, of August.
August. Yeah.
So it is like, yo, and I was hitting them up. That I had the police involved. I let them just handle the whole thing.
Right.
Like, yo, and it was like that. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So sometimes you got to use your resources.
I
and
mean,
use the people that
sometimes
you
it's
can-
not what you know, it's who you know.
It's who you know.
For
That's
sure.
a fact.
I want to go back to what we was talking about earlier
Mhm.
when you said about the criticism we get, you can get.
Oh,
So
man.
did you get any criticism from the
Mm.
community for being
Teaming up.
alongside the NYPD?
Yes.
Because it's
Because
Oh,
when I was tagging your event,
Mhm.
I was like, "Ooh,
had to
shut up,
tag the police.
tag NYPD."
Yeah.
But yeah, you got to
Ooh.
tag the police.
Yeah.
man. Y'all don't want them looking at my
Hashtag-
Instagram
Yeah.
like that.
I was like,
yo,
"Wait,
they
do
gonna
I
be
have
following
anything
me.
illegal?"
Yeah, like did I smoke some weed or something?
Yeah.
But they're regular people. A lot of
Yeah.
those dudes I know, like I went, either they know me from hooping, they used to hoop, they play, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know you was a cop, but they came
Right.
out to. I didn't know who we were going to play against
Right.
because
Yeah.
Lieutenant Mike literally had the officers, you know what I mean, and it actually made it a little easier for me to do my event as well too, because instead of trying to get
Lieutenant Mike,
Oh, listen to Mike.
Yeah.
Mike Larry.
Mike
Mike
Live. Yeah.
Officer Mike Live,
Mike Live.
y'all crazy. No, but that's hilarious. But yeah, so with that process going on, it actually made it easier for me. Now I don't have to get a whole team of other people. I only have to focus on one team.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so the kickback, to get back to your question, the
Mhm.
kickback from it, I didn't really get nobody saying,
Yeah.
oh, you working with the cops now,
Yeah.
or
You
like
a snitch.
you a snitch,
Yeah.
and like,
Oh,
but
informant.
yeah,
Right.
but like I'm not
Yeah.
in the streets like that.
Right.
Like I'm not I don't sell drugs. I
Right.
don't like
Yeah.
I'm not like beating up people in the streets. So like even if they did say that, it's like okay, like
Yeah.
Right.
whatever,
Right.
like yeah, like
Right.
I've been pushing peace, bro. Like you know what I'm saying. I haven't been that person, and not to say I'm squeaky clean. I'm a perfect person at all.
Right.
Like, but
Right.
at the end of the day, I've never, I don't live by those same codes that everybody else live by. You know what I'm saying? But that's about it. You know what I'm saying? But I haven't really got anybody to really, maybe not in my face,
Yeah.
like, but nobody's really said anything about, you're an informant. You're working with the
Yeah.
police. Like literally what I'm trying to do is make our community better. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Get us to get the same thing that a lot of these people get. And at the end of the day, some people look at you like, oh, who are you to do that? Like, you know what I'm saying? I am who I am. You know what I'm saying? There's
Yeah.
people probably in larger positions and better positions than I am who didn't do it. So
Right.
why not me? You
Right.
know what I'm saying? That's how I think about it.
Yeah.
For the 501c process,
Mhm.
I wanted to talk a little bit about that for those who may need help understanding what a 501c is and how that process is.
Well, pretty much you have to have you can't do it alone. You have to have a treasurer. You have to have like certain people that's supposed to man these certain things for you. So like I didn't start with that. I started literally under my H2O basketball program, which I do like trainings and coaching my kids. And I had that as my business, but I
Okay.
had that as the charitable division, Bowling for Peace with the charitable division
Right.
of H2O basketball.
Gotcha.
And I don't do a ton of events to the point where I had to get a 501c, 3. You know what I mean? I didn't have to do that. So now my process, I've worked with other nonprofits like Guns Down, Life Up, Life Camp, and stuff like that. That's been my fiscal sponsors. That if they did raise or get some money to help out, they can write me a check and do it like that. But it would go
Gotcha.
through them. Then it would come for my event. But fortunately, I haven't really had too much success with that. So
Right.
the process now, I have my own now. You know what I mean? So
Nice.
and hopefully I can get some more, some grants and everything like that. It's just about doing everything right. And that's gonna make me do more events now. You know what I mean? Other than these one per quarter that I've been doing,
Yeah.
because it's been so tough. Imagine doing all this stuff out of your pocket. Everything
Right.
you see been out of my pocket.
Wow.
Paying for these venues been out of my pocket. And now it's
Mm.
almost like you betting on yourself to get even, break even.
More, right.
You know what I'm saying? And now you're
Yeah.
supposed to get that, and you got to give everything, and then you're doing free giveaways. And so how does that
adds
work?
up.
You
Yeah,
know,
that's
like
It adds up.
the flag football, that wasn't. It was no. How am I making money? It's free for everybody to come out.
Yeah.
Right.
You ask for donations and stuff, but like,
Mm.
Yeah.
how do you really make money from that? You know, you have some vendors come out, things of that nature, but
A hope and a
it's a free
prayer.
event. You know, so like at the end of the day, if you're gonna do nonprofit work, you have to go that route. You know what I mean? Or you have to have a real good support team
Yeah.
that's gonna help you out with these things, because
Mhm.
it's very tough. It's not easy at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can people get more involved with everything that you have going on, your organizations and
Pretty much, you could literally. With volunteers, you can come out and volunteer. I'll make sure you have a shirt and everything like that.
nice, nice.
We had some real great volunteers my last event, and that literally came from me working other events. You know what I mean? I saw people doing volunteer work, and I
Mm.
just asked like, hey, so
Yeah.
how can I get
Right.
this company
Right.
right here that provided these 20 volunteers?
Mm.
So people started putting me in contact with different people, and that's how I've been working it. You literally, like, the best way is word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
You know what I'm saying? You
Still.
can send emails and all that. People dead emails all day long.
Yep.
If you don't personally know me and I send you an email about, hey, can you sponsor? You're gonna look at the email, delete. Like, that's what's gonna
Oh my
happen.
Move to junk.
That's what happened. Junk mail. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what happens. Unless I personally know you, I still walk
Mm.
in the stores and stuff like that. And like, hey, can I talk to a manager?
Oh.
Like, you know what I mean? And really go out here. Like, people don't understand the work that it really is to pull these events off. You
Mhm.
have to and there's a lot of people who do it for the clout.
Mm.
So they'll
Mhm.
see you, they'll see what you're doing, like, yo, H2O did it. I know I can do it.
Right.
And they try and it flops.
Yep.
And you can have a
Mm.
bigger name and everything like that. You can have more followers, but it's not that. If it ain't in
Mhm.
you, it ain't here,
Yeah.
and it's not genuine, it's not gonna be real. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna be sustainable.
Right.
People, I see the first annual and I never hear from it again. Like, you know what I'm
Yep.
saying? I'm up to year 5 with doing this. And this isn't just the start of my community work. I've been doing community work since I was about 19 years old. You know what I mean? I started with my Queens Week event where
And
I
now
was
you're
doing that.
21.
Yeah, yeah, 21 guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, so I've been doing a lot of stuff in my community for a long time, and that comes from, like, you know, parenting. Like, my mom like brought me up with that, like, you know, and it's something, it's embedded in me. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This isn't something I have to do, but this is something I literally want to do.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can wake up and not do this,
Right.
and that'll be that. Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? It won't
Yeah.
go
It
on.
won't-
So
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it's almost like I'm trying to compare it to something. It's like, you know, this isn't a must. This doesn't have to go on. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to wake up and try to make connections, to make world connections with different people and stuff like that. But it has to be in you.
Mhm.
It has to be in you. Some people see it and like, oh man, this
I
looks
wish.
good.
Yeah.
Right.
This looks really
Right.
good. And
But they don't really
they don't
know
understand the work.
the work
man.
Yeah.
behind it.
They don't understand.
That's
like,
what everybody.
I've had
That's
that-
on a lot of levels.
Yeah.
Though, in society these days. It's like, and now since fame is kind of easily accessible now,
Yeah.
and people think
You
like,
kind of have to be a
you know, man, I
just
can.
fall out your window
like,
and you
you
become
know,
famous.
Beyonce rehearses 15 hours a day.
Yeah.
LeBron James is in the gym most of the day.
Right.
Like, these people just didn't get this great by, you know.
It's crazy because I had this conversation on the last podcast episode that I did, where we were literally talking about people just want to see the end
The
result.
results.
Yes.
They don't want to see how much you had to struggle, how much you had to put in for it.
And that's the
like the climb,
the best
climbing
part of it.
Right.
Because, okay, when somebody goes to win an award, they never talk about the award.
Right.
They talk about, man, we was in the studio at 2 o'clock in the morning, and
Yeah.
we never thought this album was gonna come out.
Right.
You know what I mean? Blah
Right.
blah blah.
the
They
grind.
talk about the
Right.
grind. That's what life period is about.
But
Right.
You know
that's
what I mean?
what makes you happy.
Yes.
If you ain't grinding, like,
Yes.
like literally, like, you know, when that day comes where, like, I'm gonna leave an event and not have lint in my pocket. Like, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? When something like
Mm.
that, like,
Mhm.
people don't understand those nights that, you know, you put all the stuff, you see all these people here, but at the end of the day, how many people you had to pay out
Right.
and different things, and it's
Yeah.
not what you really think it is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, most people be like, whatever, you know, I'm not doing this anymore.
Right.
but that's somebody who that it's not in them. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And not to say, you're supposed to do events and not make a profit, you
Right.
know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's like, it's a bigger purpose here, you know
For
what I
sure.
mean? But yeah, I don't know. A lot of people just they want the ends results, like you said, and they
Right.
don't want that process. You
You
know what I
have to
mean?
love the process.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
But some people get the
Mhm.
elevator treatment. Like they
Yeah.
go right to the top.
Right.
And they don't have to take them stairs. And that's
Right.
why when they get there, it's like they'll go crazy.
Right.
Exactly.
'Cause they don't even know how to be
Exactly.
successful.
Yeah.
They
They
don't
don't
even
know
know
how they don't know how to accept the process if
Mhm.
it's a slow process.
Right.
If it just goes straight up,
Mm-hmm.
they become shocked. Like,
Mhm.
oh my God, how did I get here
How'd
so
I get here?
fast?
You see somebody like say like a 6ix9ine, not to say anything about that 6ix9ine, Bobby Shmurda, all these people in New York who like really you didn't see them grind.
Mm-hmm.
They came out and they just
Went
shot
straight.
up to the charts.
Right.
Yep.
And then that back work that they was supposed to be doing wasn't really, it
Mhm.
was funded by this and it was funded by
Yeah.
Right.
that, or now you find out all these back stories about it, and it's like, yo, it
It's that. It's the lack of process and the lack of having a end goal. Like, you know what I mean? When you have goals, you got something that you're looking
That's
at, and you're
for
like, okay,
sure.
I'm going
Yeah.
for that.
yeah.
But if
Right.
you get there, just you're like, damn, okay, I don't know, I don't have no goals. Like,
I
I'm just
don't even know what to
here.
do.
Like, I'm
Right.
kind of
I'm
on the
just happy to
fly
be
right
here.
now.
Like,
You know,
what?
yeah.
I'm just happy to be
I'm
here.
just soaking
yo.
it in, man.
Yeah. That's probably the worst that
Yeah.
could possibly happen.
As far as support goes,
Mhm.
I know that you said some of your family members have been on the show,
Mhm.
but do you find both of you? This is a question for both of
There you
you.
go.
Have you
Mhm.
found that you have less support now, or you have more support? Do you have more than family support?
It's crazy. It's interesting because I feel like my family and friends really support me. Like, I'm not saying they don't, but the energy that strangers give you is different. Like when they
Different,
want to support, they
yes.
want like, what can I do, bro? I
Yeah,
believe in you. What can
yeah.
I do? What can I do?
Let
I'm
me
like,
repost this.
yeah, let me repost it.
uh,
Like my friends, my family
I'm
never
like,
does
hold
it.
on.
My friends
Yeah.
never ask me these questions, but I know they, you know what I mean. But I'm not saying they hate or nothing.
Silent
But it's
supporters.
interesting.
It's
Like with strangers to be like, man, you the
it-
truth.
that's I go through that all the time. Like
Yeah.
even I look at certain things. I look at like even ticket sales, who buys what. Like if you picture stuff on Eventbrite, it can show you like who buys from what state, what city, and everything. Like
Yeah.
I've had events in Queens. I'm from Queens.
Mhm.
I would look at the thing, and Queens would be the dead last in ticket sales. And the event is in Queens, Harlem,
Wow.
Manhattan. It would be like Manhattan, the Bronx, and it's
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
I don't even know that many people in the Bronx. Like, you know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like, I know, but it's like, yo, those are the people that been supporting them. Like, yo, Queens, what's up? Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Like,
this is my
Mm,
borough. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? I
right.
rep
I
Queens
want it,
heavy.
y'all.
But,
Yeah.
Again, like even a lot of rappers, when they get on, they got to get out. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They get out. Unfortunately, some people like who haven't,
Mhm.
like say Stack Bundles and the Chink Drugs and stuff like that,
Mhm.
who have come up and they try to still be in their neighborhoods and stuff like that. But hatred is real, man.
Yeah.
Like it's real. It's really real.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, and it comes
Yeah.
from people that you know. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
You
it-
getting out and
yeah, and
you supposed to
son,
stay here with me.
Yeah,
Like,
like, and it's crazy how that works. But
yeah.
Like
family,
rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle.
yeah,
R.I.P.
Nipsey. You know what I'm
Nipsey.
saying? In front
Yeah.
of his store, bro.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? And that's wild. But
Yeah.
that was kind of wild, and that like really upset me as well too, because it's
Mhm.
like, you can be a rapper. Like, I saw something that Tupac had said, and it's like, you never say, these actors, right? These actors who act in the movies.
Mhm.
He said a specific actor though, like I can't remember, but
Mhm.
he said you would never say such and such is a this, and he played this role, right? You know what I'm saying? He was I'm an artist, like, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I'm acting out my,
Yeah.
my this doesn't mean this is me in real
Mhm.
life, you know what I'm saying? But you wouldn't ask someone who plays in movies
Yeah.
about this role that they're playing
Mhm.
on the screen.
It's a
You know what I'm
persona.
saying? It's a
Mm.
persona.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? But sometimes that can get misconstrued of who you
For
are
sure.
in reality and who you are in on wax or whatever,
Yeah.
but to get back to that question, that's a big issue. You know what I mean? Family support could always be more.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? It can definitely always be more. And I love my fam. You know what
Oh,
I'm saying?
let me clarify that too, because
I love my
if
family.
I don't say that, they're gonna be
Yeah,
on
no,
me.
no, you
I
know,
love you, family. Y'all support me all the time.
Shout out to
I
my
was just pointing
mom.
out the stranger.
Facts.
Thing.
But
It's
like
different.
my sisters
Yeah.
coming to my events. I had
Mhm.
my sister even. She had like a hairline company. Like allow her to come and be a vendor at my last Bowling for Peace. Only when she was ready. Like she
Yeah.
had to be ready to go ahead and do that and make sure that she was right. You know what I mean? To come.
Right.
And my aunt even came out. My aunt's like a director, and we actually talked about doing something coming soon, probably in 2020. Because my mother used to write plays and stuff like that. My aunt
Okay.
had
Wow,
the scripts and
nice.
everything like that now. So we're gonna do something together. So I'm
That's what's up.
actually have one of my mother's plays, who my aunt like kind of revived and stuff like
Mhm.
that, and we're gonna like put that out there soon. But I've always tried to at least give my family the information first and stuff,
Mhm.
and what they want to do with it, they can do with
Go
it.
with
But
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it's always a lot of strangers who show love. You know what I'm
Yeah, man,
saying?
it's
It's
crazy.
more strangers than anything. And I've built some real relationships with more strangers than people who I've known for years.
For
yo.
sure.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And
Facts.
just to even get a repost, or it's like when you ask, and it's like, yo, they make it seem like you begging them, or
Right.
something
Yeah.
like that. It's like,
I
yo, bro,
hate-
can you post? I
You
could
know how,
I
like,
could put it on my
man.
stories,
You
bro.
know how-
but,
Yeah, not on my main.
not my
page.
main, my hard page, bro. Like I put in my stories though.
You
And-
know
and
how,
I- and
like,
I'm
yo,
kinda-
bro, when
Yeah.
you gonna post? Yo, hey, that's how I'm gonna do it. Like,
I'm kind of offended. I even got to ask.
Yeah,
you
facts.
my
Right,
boy.
you see
You
right.
know what I mean?
And
My
if
friend.
people can't say that they don't see, because I blast them things out.
Right.
So like,
Yeah.
you see what I'm
Right.
posting, like you know what I mean, like facts.
It's the algorithms, bro.
Yeah, that's the algorithm. Nah, I tag
see what
you in my
happened
joint,
was,
bro.
you know,
I be tagging people and all that.
No,
Not
but
even in the picture.
Right.
I tag you in it, bro. You gonna like?
but it's crazy because I notice a lot on Instagram. Like,
Mhm.
I'll repost everybody else's stuff,
Mhm.
and sometimes I get love, and sometimes I don't. But
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like the informative tool.
Mhm.
I use my platform just to inform people of different things going on.
Right.
So I don't feel like, oh, I need you to repost this.
You
But
just
there will be
you
some
genuinely
people,
doing it,
Giving
though.
it out. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
there will be some people that's like, oh, you doing this for clout.
I'm not gonna lie.
You know?
I do get I get when people repost it, I repost it right back.
Right.
Like if they see it, I do.
Well,
it all the
you didn't
time.
repost what I
Yeah.
post. No.
Yeah, I did. And
No,
I
you did,
reposted
you did,
your
you
joint
did, you
too.
did.
Like, you know what I'm saying? If somebody has me in it and asks me in it, if it's something positive, I'm gonna repost
Exact
it.
right.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
that's the part. That's the part that I want to stress to people.
Mhm.
Like, if you guys following me on Instagram at @NikkiMarie_radio, then you
Mhm.
will know that a lot of things that I post is for purpose.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So even this month is Suicide Awareness Month, and I posted something about, be aware, self-love, and just get help if you need it.
Mhm.
So I know for us, we're podcasters, and your mission is to get something across to the world.
Right.
So what is your purpose for all that podcast?
Just on the basic level, it's just to get people to think.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, I just want you to think or feel something. You know what I mean? So I could be talking about like a variety of issues, but they
You mean
all
like spirit finger thinks, or
no, either way, like intellectually think or emotionally or spiritually think. I just want you to think in some capacity. You know what I mean? Like
Use your brain.
yeah, use
Right,
your brain, right?
right.
I just
you have one.
yeah, I just my last podcast was with a criminal defense attorney.
Mm.
We was talking about the justice system, the problem with the bail industry, race. He's a white guy, race, blah blah blah. I just want you to, have a different. Like I feel like conversations are like.
Are
It's a
important.
cliche conversation, real world, but it's true.
Yeah.
Like you with the NYPD, that could have never happened unless you had a
Had a
conversation.
conversation.
Facts.
Like people need to talk to people
don't
who they don't
talk.
just talk.
People don't talk, and then it comes out, oh, they hating on me. They don't
Yeah.
even know you.
Yeah.
They don't even know what you're talking
Right.
about. They
Right.
don't even know what you have going on. Because you're not saying it. Like,
Right.
but they're hating. They hate.
Yeah.
People they want to use that so much. And it's like, yo, who's hating? Who is
don't
hating?
even know
They
you,
don't
sir.
even know you. Bro, I don't even know you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not hating. I would never hate on you. I don't even know you to hate on you.
Right.
Like, man, it happened in like basketball games where people
Mhm.
like they'll know me and stuff like that, and they'll come at me because they'll know who I am,
Mhm.
and it's like, yo, and they're like, yeah, this dude, da da da, and they're like, yo, I'm not even giving you that energy, like,
Right.
bro, I don't even know who you are. Like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like, you could relax, bro.
Yeah,
like
bro, it's gonna be
relax,
alright,
calm
man.
down. You're gonna be all right.
Chop it
Yeah.
up.
It happens on that stage. It happens on the political stage. It happens everywhere in
Yeah.
everyday life, at work. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
people just perceive you to be who they think you are. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Most people would think, okay, he's with this celebrity and that person. He's probably stuck up, and I'm the complete opposite. I'm
Right.
probably the coolest person you'll ever meet. You know
I
what I'm
noticed
saying?
that, especially with females, the standoffish
man.
females be the coolest
Yeah,
ones when you
fact.
get to know
That's
them.
a fact. That's a
It-
fact.
it's
They be
crazy.
mad cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool, bro.
Mad cool.
But yeah, like growing up, Oprah was always on, right, in the
Mhm.
house,
Oprah.
and her conversations had so much substance.
Facts.
So I was like, that's what I'm shooting for, because I feel like I have a wide range. Like I can be Oprah or I can be Kevin Hart. Like
Yeah.
I just want to bridge, make a
Mhm.
hybrid of them. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And so whether I'm gonna just get you to think one way or another.
That's a
Either
fact.
it's about like Chappelle did with the Chappelle show, you know, getting you to think about this the nigger family or
I'm
whatever.
so done.
You know what I mean?
That was hilarious. I
Or,
actually watched
you
that
know, the
other
black
day.
white
So
supremacists.
done.
You know, how
Yeah,
you
yeah,
thinking? Like, you
yeah.
know what I mean?
Like, what if? Like,
Yeah,
you know
what
what I'm
if?
saying?
This is crazy
Hey,
stuff. Yeah, my favorite niggas.
That was hilarious.
Yo, the
I literally
FCC is about to
genius.
shut me
that,
down.
son.
Genius, bro.
Yeah, that
Or
was
even
funny.
in his new stand-up, got you to think too. It's like, do this.
Yeah,
you
just
genius,
being
man.
different, man. Being different and not being the same, and not going down, you know, that same route and that same path that everybody's going down.
Right.
When you do stuff outside the box,
Yeah, that's another thing too. Yeah.
Yeah.
you do some things outside the box, you're always gonna be different. You're always
Mhm.
gonna be able to have a conversation because it's you that's actually doing it. You know what I
Right.
mean? But some people, when they try to piggyback or copy off of you, they
Yeah.
don't really know what to say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because it's not genuine. It doesn't come from the heart.
Mhm.
So, you know, it's and I've seen stuff. I've seen people try to do things and it's like, what? I thought it was about this. And no,
Exactly.
it's about that. Like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
what is it about, bro?
Right.
Like, what is this event? What are we here for? Like, you know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? But
Well, before we run out of time, I
Mhm.
want to make sure that you guys have your Instagram or Facebook accounts out there where people
Okay.
can follow you
well, how much time
and
do we
people can
have?
listen to your podcast. We have like 2 minutes left.
Oh, okay.
So
I was like, oh, okay. My podcast is at Kyrie Naveau. Now you're gonna have to listen because my name is different. All right. It's KHYRIENEVEAUX as an X-ray. That's Louisiana last name. You know, all the Louisiana last names, most of them
I'm done.
end with
I'm
O,
so
like
done.
Babineau, Malvo, Naveau. Oh, okay. And so all that podcast you can listen to on Apple Podcast and Anchor
FM.
FM. Yes, and that is a good because you type in anchor.com, it's gonna take you somewhere else. But yeah, so all that podcast.
Okay.
Yes.
My name is Haran Hargrave, but my Instagram is H2O5. That's the letter O, not 0. Also, you can follow me at Ballin for Peace, BALLIN, the number 4 in the word peace, and also follow the website ballinforpeace.org. You know what I mean? So yeah, my next event is actually tomorrow, book bag giveaway in Queens. You can hit me up on Instagram and DM if you want to come out and help hand out some book bags.
Yeah, yeah,
There
yeah,
it is.
yeah. Make sure you guys save the date for a community event. It's Community Game Club, sponsored by Action Burger. 292 Graham Avenue, Brooklyn, from 1 to 5. That's September 22nd. To learn more information, you can go to legendsarebmade.com and follow me on Instagram at NikkiMarie_radio. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode.
We out of here. Oh yeah. Also,
know.
also, and another thing.
Yeah, I was like, wait.
Wait.
Forgot
that.
another
Yeah.
plug.